Hello again, everyone. Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. I want to bring you another monk video. If you watch my last one, you can see monks are doing very, very well right now. All specs are doing seemingly well, and there's a lot of variation to play with monks, so you're really not that bored while played. It's not like playing Evoker where, if you're playing an Aug Evoker, yes, they were taken to a lot of high keys because they brought somewhat survivability, but their DPS is low and you really only play one build. One single build, that's it. That's all you get. Whereas Monk has many builds. And I've gone through a very, very, a lot of information to bring you the best Windwalker one. So I was in Mistweaver. I just did a key as Mistweaver. Really enjoying the Mistweaving healing. It's a lot of fun. But the one I want to talk to you about is Windwalker. And the reason Windwalker is doing some great DPS. And they have a lot of build kind of variety. You change it one or two talents, you change it three or four talents. It really depends on what you're doing. And I have gone through the data to come up with the number one. If you want to play one single build week in, week out, you're not going to change it, I have it for you. And this is done. I have simmed every one of these builds. And then I went through all my dungeons to input a average percentage of damage you require for bosses in a dungeon and different pack sizes from 5 pack, 7 pack, 10 pack, and the amount of times you pull it in the dungeon, giving it a different amount of percentage. And anyway, I did a lot of that work for it. And to get into it, so the main builds I went over. There is a Storm, Earth, and Fire regular build. This revolves around Storm, Earth, and Fire. Touch Death. This is your standard build for Storm, Earth, and Fire. I did a Storm, Earth, and Fire Bonedust Brew build where you replace, you take out Fury of Zuen and you put in Bonedust Brew and Spinning Crane because they do a bunch of damage. I did the faeline Stomp build. This was your tyrannical, basically what you use in Raid. It's very good. Single target cleave, it does very good. I did a Serenity build, which is purely Serenity and a bit of the touch of death with Spinning Crane Kick. And then I did a Serenity Bonedust Brew build. So it switched out Fury of Zuen, again, for Bonedust Brew. Those are the builds I simmed. And then I do have the sim results. So the way I got this was I inputted the data. So firstly, I did the Serenity, Faeline Stomp, Storm Earth and Fire, Bonedust, Serenity Bonedust. Those are the ways I did it. I inputted the single target sim, the 5 target sim, the 7 target sim, the 10 target sim on all of these. Then I assigned different values based on my dungeons that I had done in logs from different characters that I was doing. Anything 20 plus would give me a good idea. So it involves taking the average from 24s, 22s, 20s, some of the 25s, all to see what the damage was. To then assign a value. I don't know if you really care, but I'll go into it really quick. Bosses in fortified keys take up 31.5% on average damage for the dungeon. And then, 5 packs were very big, except in EB. I did EB separate because Everbloom, there are some a lot bigger pulls. And Everbloom this was based upon pulling on a fortified week, and this is based upon pulling on a tyrannical week. So this is with bursting and all that you want to watch out for, and raging. So you kind of pull a little smaller. This was done based on tyrannical and pulling huge. Everything was a 10 pack pull or higher. Now, EB on fortified still requires 41.75% boss damage based on my averages for the dungeon. It's crazy. And then once you get to tyrannical, 55% of the dungeon is boss damage. That's where I came up with that. And then these ones changed to roughly an average of about 40 and change percent for boss damage on tyrannical. Anyway, if you didn't care about it, here's the results. Going through the results, the builds are all very close. Storm, Earth, and Fire falls a little bit behind on average on fortified weeks and tyrannical weeks. So if you're just running a plain Storm, Earth, and Fire build, I wouldn't. It's a little farther down the list on DPS. I would recommend, if you are going to learn nothing but one single build, that's what you want to learn, you're going to specialize in that, pick the Serenity Bonedust. Unless you're like, if you raid focus as well, you could get away with faeline Stomp. It's not going to make that big of a difference. You'll lose a little bit of DPS on fortified weeks. Tyrannical weeks, you're all basically right there. So if you want to pick one for Mythic Plus and raiding, and that's what you're going to do, combine them both, you want to learn one build, I would pick faeline Stomp at that point. But if you're just playing Mythic Plus, I would pick Serenity Bonedust. It does a little bit more than the plain Serenity build on every week and every sim. Just slightly more. And faeline really only falls behind on Everbloom just because of the pack sizes. But it's not a crazy amount. It's, 9k DPS. Yes, it's a little bit, but it's 3%. Nothing that you could not play with and do just fine. But those are the results. Bonedust Serenity comes out on top. And I'll go over the build. And then the Serenity playing by itself comes out slightly, ever so slightly ahead of faeline Stomp. So faeline Stomp is still very viable. It's not a bad build. Lagging behind are the Storm, Earth, and Fires. So Storm, Earth, and Fire is slightly behind all the way through, except on Tyrannical Everbloom. That's where it makes up. So weirdly enough, because the boss damage, and this is based upon every pack being a 10 pull or mob pull. So that's where it pulls ahead. Only if your tank is pulling huge during Tyrannical week will it slightly come ahead. But again, I don't think it's worth playing myself. I don't play it as much. I'm just playing the Serenity, Bonedust, and faeline, which then results in the following. So Serenity Bonedust, it takes advantage of, obviously, Bonedust Brew, because it's Bonedust. It takes advantage of the Sky Touch. You go into Zoo-End. You take the couple of the Touch of Death ones. So you can get the Touch of Death when they get below 20%, or sorry, deals 20% extra damage, and can be used a second time, and then strikes up to 4 additional targets. So that's it. Does quite a bit of damage. You also take advantage of the Spinning Crane Kick. And one thing that I had to go through the Sims to find out, when you use Serenity, and this is a big rotational thing, because if you've been looking at other things, it doesn't tell you to do this. When you use Serenity on either of these builds, so faeline Stomp or the Bonedust Brew, you don't want to sit there and tie your palm during the first part of Serenity. What you want to do, and I'll reset this to show you, is you're going to use Zoo-End, you're going to use, the statue, and as soon as you hit Serenity, you want to hit Strike of the Windlord, and then you want to Blackout Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, alternate target, so tab target, Blackout Kick, Spinning Crane Kick, and then tab target, Blackout Kick, Spinning Crane, tab target. That is what the new rotation is going to be during the Serenity part. You don't want to be spreading your Tiger Palm during that part. You will do a lot more damage by doing this. And I'll show you right here. So you want to get your Bonedust Brew out. You hit your Tiger Palm once, Serenity. Then you want to spread it with Blackout Kick and Spinning Crane. And I'll show you the damage it does. Because you do this until Windlord comes back off, then you Windlord, then you can do it once or twice more. And now, well into the 600-700 DPS is where I was. Unfortunately, I didn't have it showing the whole time because I was on healing, but that is exactly what you want to do for your Serenity window. And he will do a lot of damage during that window. And I did that. I found that through the Sims. A lot of the other things don't tell you to do that. They still tell you to spread your Blackout Palm or your Tiger Palm and everything. But this Sims higher, so Raidbot, you have to look through the Sims for you as well. But if you go down and check it out, it will definitely should show you that as well, which is is a huge help because I didn't know that before. and it definitely adds some DPS. So it was very good to find that out through the simming, and I'll be able to be able to help that way. And it's very weird, like it just sims better. So I will show you right here that this is the sim. So this is the sim I did on one. You know, it's just 575. So when you go down, you open up, and then it's spinning crane blackout, spinning crane blackout, but it's changing target. So you have to keep in mind it's changing the target while you do that. So big tab targeting change, and then you strike the Windlord, and then you'll spinning crane, blackout, spinning crane, and then go into your regular rotation, spinning or spending your items on Tiger Palm to spread it. So Tiger Palm spread to enemy 6, 7, blah, and that way. So that was done through the Sims. That's how I found out that rotation, and that's used every time Serenity is popped. Now, if you have any questions, as always, leave a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I will be posting more Monk videos. I'll be doing some Brewmaster. I've also been doing Mistweaver. So I've done most of my keys this week on Mistweaver. But yeah, it's like I said, Mistweaver's a ton of fun. And so is Windwalker. They're all fun. So you can see I've been playing all three, so I do have them all kind of shaded there. They're not all lit up because I haven't had that much time to do all these keys as well as my regular keys. But again, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. This is Deflect, Firm but Fair Gaming. We'll see you in the next video.